Yo, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy Naked Great coming at you with another live. You already know if you're new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. To all the returning friends and family, you already know it's peace and blessing. I'm gonna give y'all some time to tune in case these notifications ain't go out. Give me 1 second too as I fix something. Okay, I fixed it. James number 8, what's going on, my guy? First things first, you already know, hopefully everybody having a blessed and productive Thursday. Hopefully everybody is smoothly able to get through the work day. Hopefully your kids was able to get through the school day. Those celebrating birthdays, hopefully enjoying yourselves. And for those celebrating this upcoming weekend, another year, another blessing around the sun, definitely. Keep creating memories and keep enjoying every moment of life. Appreciate everybody that tuned in to the last live stream. Um, Definitely was a great conversation. And shout out to Marlene for popping in on that topic of discussion. Um, Usually, when you get talks like that, you're going to get something from both sides. So, for those that missed it, y'all can definitely catch the replay. Tonight, I'm going to kind of get into a little of tomorrow's topic. Um, because I feel the question needs to be asked. I mean, what is more important, love or money? The reason why I asked that question is because, nowadays it seems like it's more about the money. It's more about transactional situations than actually connecting with people. Serious, baby. I mean, I, I feel like I had to ask that question because it seems like almost everything is transitional. In one instance, you hear some people say they looking for love, they looking for leadership, but then in the same breath, you trying to diminish and destroy the same thing that you're trying to work for, which is counteractive and counterproductive. The reason why I say it because it's kind of looking crazy right now. Like it seems like almost every time you turn around, it's somebody is focusing on somebody's financials or focusing on what they can do for them. But I thought you were supposed to be quote unquote looking for somebody. Right now, the dating pool is a little bit messed up, and I can see why. Because the things that are starting to become a thing now is very counterproductive. Wait, give me a one if you can hear me. My fault. Let me mess with this real quick. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Oh, we starting this again. One if you can hear me. Oh my God. Oh, if you might be background, but on in the chat if y'all maybe Diddy, baby. Y'all give me a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. James, what's going on, my guy? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I was trying another sound, but apparently it don't work. So, but yeah, my bad, y'all. Um, Serious, give me a one if you can hear me. I might be in and out. I was trying something. My bad. But yeah, it's just let's be real. You know, Chrissy baby, Angela baby. But this is the thing I was talking about though. All right, y'all can hear me good, good. If I do sound a little whatever, wave at me or do something. Because I'm about to go in for a little bit. But, like I said, it should never be focused on what somebody could do for you right off the rip. Like some of y'all ladies out there, not gonna lie, y'all are doing a little too much. And you're wondering why people are avoiding you. They're avoiding you for that situation. Like, that's the one thing you should have been taught. You never ask somebody their personal situations, or you don't try to delve into their personal finances off the first date. It's a difference if y'all was already like in that courting phase and y'all, or even already like in a relationship, you know, then you say what you gotta say, you know. But on a first date, some of y'all just be asking too much. Like prime example, I talked about this one time before. It is not a man's responsibility to be responsible for your upkeep. If you know you plan on going on a date, um, your best bet is to get yourself together. Because in the long run, just like I said, it's nobody else's responsibility but yours to do what you have to do for yourself. If I know I got a date, the first things first, I'm going to get whatever I got to get together, and I'm going to make sure I'm properly straight for that evening. I'm not going to be looking for nobody to say, yo, you think you could pay for this or pay for that? No, I'm going to do it my damn self, especially if I'm the one that's initiating the date. So that's the thing. I'm different. Usually, if I know I'm going to do whatever, hey, I just do it and I'm prepared for it. But some of y'all out there are wilding out for respect. You expect a man to pay for your. Again, if it don't apply, let it fly. Some of y'all expect a man to pay for your babysitter, pay for your nails, your hair, all of that. It'd be a difference if y'all was married or in a long term relationship. That's different. But when you just meeting somebody, you don't try to expect too much from them off the rip. That's not a good look. It's really a red flag, to be honest with you. It's a red flag because in the long run, most people are only going to see you as that. You just worry about the come up. You worry about trying to live that life. But again, it blocks your blessings, whether you believe it or not. It blocks your blessings. You know, you could possibly chase somebody off just by praying too much into. You get the chance to know somebody first. You know, and then you discuss the things that you feel are important and you need to discuss. Until then, you know, keep it casual. But some people don't want to do that. And again, that's a problem right there. That's a pure problem because again, if you plan on trying to build something long term, you can't just go off of somebody's financials and their background. You can't. Now let me baby. Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. But yeah, this is the thing I'm talking about. It's like, how do you say you looking for something long term? You're looking for something that's going to have not just potential growth. You're talking about this quote unquote fairy tale that you really want to live, but step into reality. Not everything is going to be peaches and cream. And if you're not willing to ride with that partner, like you say, then my best advice for you is just to hold off on everything until further notice. Like, for an example, if a person does check off a majority of the things you have on your list, right? Shouldn't that be a clear sign that you got something good, especially if that person is making you a priority? Sad part about it is some of y'all will ruin your own situations just because of that. What's up, baby? And that's what I'm saying. It's a tricky world we live in right now because the way things are, the dating game is kind of messed up on all cylinders. Not just for the young folks, but for the older folks as well. And this is what I'm saying. Like, we got to come to some sort of conclusion. There is some form of disconnect. Some of the disconnect again is people just trying to rely on somebody else's resources. My thing is again, the goal should be finding somebody that you connect with and that you can build with. You help each other out. But see, the thing is, it gotta be again on the same level. See, like some of y'all ladies talk about a man so bad, and then some of y'all you have high expectations on what this person should provide or what they should do. But do you ask the question of what do you provide to that man as well? You're supposed to provide and protect as well. I'm sorry, sis. I'm sorry. Um, Definitely healing prayers and spiritual prayers to you and the family. Um, I'm sorry to hear that, sis. But yeah, it's just like we got to keep it a buck right now. What are you supposed to be provided for that man, and how are you going to protect his peace? How are you going to protect him overall? To be quite honest, we are supposed to protect each other. Yes, men are supposed to be on the forefront to do what's necessary for the family and everything else, right? But y'all also on the battlefield too. You know how you protect his heart? You know how you protect his overall peace? Give him that peace when he needs it. Some of y'all want to be combative. Y'all want to be argumentative over things that are honestly not worth it. And then it brings stress to both of y'all. Like I said, we work hard, and most we try to do is come home to some form of peace. We deal with enough as it is. You protect his overall heart and you protect his image by being a reflection of it. The same way he's supposed to be a reflection of you. And I think that's where people lost sight of. And again, some of y'all claim you want a leader, but how can you want a leader when you want to question his authority or you want to question his overall mindset or you just want to question him, period? When the person has experience on certain things, how can you start the argument and start the question? You can't say you want a leader if you're not allowing that man to lead the right way. You know, these are the things that people overlook. When you're supposed to be tied in with somebody, there should be no gray areas. There definitely shouldn't be no form of miscommunication. And also make sure that you're keeping it real with your partner. Those are the most important things you are supposed to do. You know, but see, the problem I see is there's a lot of you men and women out there who you seem lost in the source, and it's only because some of y'all following dangerous advice and rhetoric from other people. Remember this, and I said this a while back. Not everything is going to work for you. I mean, people can give advice, yes. If it's helpful advice or if it's something that could possibly help y'all, you know, then you take it into consideration. Only after you sit down and have a talk. And remember, there are certain things that it's just not going to work or be conducive to your relationship or your marriage. See, the problem with some of y'all is that, again, you listen to outside interference. You listen to what people think that you should have. Oh, well, you should have this and you should get this and you should get this from them. No, how about you follow your own state of mind? How about you follow your own intuition? If something feels right, you know what to do. You get tired of hearing certain stories like, oh, I had something good and I messed it up because I couldn't do this or I couldn't do that. Sad about it, is that some people really won't know what they're missing until it's gone. But then that's also a scary part for some because it's not saying that you might not find somebody else good, but it's going to be a slim chance of that. Only because, again, depending on the age, depending on the mindset, the pool could get slimmer and slimmer. I would advise some of y'all who actually have something that's near and dear to you, keep on fighting for what you need to fight for and keep strengthening the balance like you're supposed to. See, we always talk about the negative side of things, but there are some great positives as well. You do have relationships and marriages that are still thriving and still strong to this day. And I'm saying 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, shoot. Some people probably 50 or better. See, once you locked in with somebody and once everything is basically going according to plan, you figure out what your next steps are. And as you figure out your next steps, you know, you just got to make sure that both of y'all are going to be a united front, regardless of what. And remember, any type of relationship or any type of marriage or anything that you're doing in that scenario, it's not just about one person. So again, y'all have to compromise with each other. But also remember this too. You have choices and options before you fully even get into anything deep. And again, healing prayers says, let me take a little time out. Again, healing prayers and spiritual prayers to those who might need it. Um, like I said, we're here for you, sis. You already know if anything, we all here. I can definitely understand your pain, your situation. Trust me, I've been through it. But we all here for you. Healing prayers again, sis. You know how it is. See, this is the thing. We're supposed to play our natural orders and our natural roles in society. So, for some of y'all ladies out there, I think it's time for y'all to take your foot off that gas pedal. Some of y'all that think that masculine attitude and that loud, rah rah behavior is always going to get you something. It's not going to get you but so far. It's not. Because again, nobody wants to come home to a headache. Rather be on a roof than be in a house with a quarrelsome woman. And for those that don't know, I'm going to just break it down for you. Nobody wants to be in a house with somebody that's going to continuously argue and fight and won't let things go. Every day got to be a battle at home. It shouldn't have to be. In some cases, that type of behavior and that type of aggression is one of the reasons why there's a lot of either relationships or marriages that are breaking up. Because again, who wants to deal with all of that? I mean, I'm not saying every marriage or relationship is going to be perfect. No, it's not. Nothing is ever perfect in life. But the one thing is that person should be able to come home especially after a tiresome day, and just be able to relax and unwind the way he's supposed to. But some of y'all make it difficult, and you wonder why you're going through the ringer the way you're going through the ringer. Again, you got to think about it. Some people do not want to deal with that stress and that headache. You got to tone it down some because some of y'all keep playing games, and you're gonna end up getting that same energy that you're putting out. And once you do, that table is not going to be looking good for you at all. I'm gonna dig deep into the conversation tomorrow night, definitely, only because I want to get clear understanding on things. But I do feel overall, though, there are some things that can change for the better if you're willing to make it work. And again, if you talking about you need a leader, you want a provider, then when you do have that person around you, let that person do what they're supposed to do. Hey, what's going on, my guy? Nah, son, you already know Braun is not no goat, son. Stop it. Pay homage to Ed Jordan, son. Pay homage to Jeffrey Jordan, son. Stop playing. Come on, Hood. Don't come in here with that. James Rocket the Hood can't leave until I get my damn jersey. I need my Jordan jersey signed, son. Appreciate you for dropping those links, series, baby. Working hard to get my damn audio, baby. Apologies for real, though. Hopefully, y'all can hear me now. Um, like I said, it's just time to change up and change up for the good. You know, you can't say that you want this or you seeking this, right? But then the same token, you being counterproductive, like I said before. Because if you feel like you're not going to allow this man to leave, or you're not going to allow this man to do what's necessary, then what's the purpose of being with somebody? If you feel like you got it all covered, then you shouldn't be looking for nobody. Another thing that I was going to speak about is again, how do some of y'all women have the mindset to blame the top 80% of the men who ain't out here doing nothing for the things that the 20% is doing? That make no sense. Like, prime example, I've said this before. If a person cheated on you, does that mean everybody in that specific group is going to cheat on you? Does that mean everybody get put in the same category? No. You would only put that person in that category, person you had the interaction with. You don't just sit there and condemn everybody else for the nonsense. And that's another thing. I think this is another reason why there's a lot of you who are not gaining what you're supposed to gain right now out of these situations. You're not gaining nothing because you're putting everybody in the same category. And why would you continue to keep putting people in the same category when you know it's not true? So basically, pushing them away. Now, again, we shouldn't be getting blamed for what the bottom 20% is doing. That's just how I look at things. Like I told y'all that story a long time ago. I know what it feels like to be cheated on. But guess what? I didn't allow that to affect me. I didn't allow that to go into my next situation. And I didn't place everybody in that same category. So I just knew, okay, the signs of a cheater, signs of somebody to be aware of. So that's what some of y'all need to do. But again, stop placing everybody in the same category because it's not true. And by that mindset and that logic, you basically are blocking your own blessings. Why? Because now it's going to be harder for you to trust somebody. And even if you trust them, you still going to be holding on to that resentment from the last situation. So again, heal yourself properly and, just try not to make that same mistake. That's really about it though. You know, try not to make the same mistakes. But again, don't place everybody in the same category because we know it's not true. When it's all said and done, you have to be careful and responsible for the decisions that you're making. And I'm gonna say the same thing too for the fellas. You have to be careful and calculated in the moves that you're making. If prime example, all you see is that that person is only trying to be with you or be around you because either financials or they just feel like they can try to, pull one over you, or they just don't show that much interest. Don't be around those type of people. Find somebody else. Again, the goal is to find somebody who wants to be with you for who you are, not what you can do, and not just because they feel like that's the best option. Again, that person is supposed to make you a priority, regardless to what. Again, it has to be compromised. When you are supposed to be building with somebody, again, it's a joint effort. And if you're not going to be a team player, then, like I said, honestly, you might as well just stay single until further notice. If you feel the need to be unfaithful instead of proactively taking that step, exactly. See, that's the one thing. And that's the one thing I believe people have lacked on them. They lack communication. I'm sorry, but they do. Because there's no way you can tell me that we got together because of communication, but we breaking up because of the lack of it. Make it make sense. I mean, honestly, if you're not gonna be with somebody and if you're not gonna intentionally try to grow with them, then let it be known what it is. Because again, the one thing I will say is nobody should ever be cheated, especially when they trying to build with somebody. And we've heard a lot of stories of men and women who basically was doing everything that was supposed to be done, but they got done dirty. But this is what I'm saying. Some of these scenarios won't happen if people just come together and talk. I can remember when I was young, like say like 13, 14. I wasn't really looking for nothing crazy. You know me, I'm just doing me. But shoot, I had somebody that was interested, but I told him I don't think it's gonna work because I'm not for trying to be tied down at the moment. And I definitely would not want to cheat on you. So I'm just not gonna go that far with you, which I did. Because again, at least I was open and honest when I was talking about it. You know, I wasn't in that position to say, yeah, I'm a lock down with somebody. So I already knew off the rip what to do. But see, in this day and age, again, people are boisterous for all the wrong reasons. You know, you have to again keep that communication line open, and it has to be ready to get. If you claim that you are dealing with somebody and you fully love them, then you won't do anything in your power to hurt them at all. That's why a large number of marriages and relationships don't work. Lack of communication and trust. Yeah, because if I don't know if something is wrong with you, and that's another thing I'm gonna say for some of y'all ladies out there too. We again are not mind readers. If there's something going on with you, let us know what's going on so we can try to help you the best way possible. See, y'all be boisterous for nonsensical things, but the things that really are important, especially when it's supposed to be dealing with the relationship or the marriage, y'all refuse to open your mouth and say anything. You can't read minds. You don't know what could be going on with you. You could be dealing with a family issue. You could be dealing with a health issue. You could be dealing with anything else. But if you're not telling us nothing, how are we gonna help you? You know, y'all gotta always keep that communication line open because without that, you don't have nothing. But this is what I'm saying too. Another thing is again, if you choosing to be with this person because this person has fit all the basic criteria and needs for you. What was that old saying? Don't try to fix anything that ain't broken. If y'all communication is strong, if everything is where it needs to be, and again that person prioritizes you and not using you as an option, don't try to do anything that's gonna be counterproductive to what you're doing. See, again, it has to be a trust factor involved. And if you say that you trust your partner, if you say that you love your partner, then again, trust your better judgment. Some of y'all will mess up your own situations just because you jump out the window. And that's another thing. Stop jumping out the window. If you don't have full, clear evidence on anything, don't make it bigger than it needs to be. See, like some of y'all lost good relationships and marriages because you accused the partner of cheating when they wasn't even cheating. So again, if they're not cheating, and if you don't have no real proof of that, damn
You know
power.
what's crazy? It might have had power because there was a wire running
Yeah,
it.
but it ain't running.
It ain't there no more.
Yeah, so listen, I don't care. I'm gonna be somewhere to sleep after a while.
Yeah.
Well, shit, I'm gonna send this damn ticket dude then. Fuck it. Yeah, but you know, this is what I'm saying, y'all. My bad, my bad. But this is what I'm saying for real. Can you hear me? Give me a one in the chat if y'all can hear me. But this is what I'm saying. When it's all said and done, if you are locked in with your partner and everything is going perfect, don't spoil it because you want a little too much or you want something that's not realistic. I'm gonna be honest with you. How's that, baby? What's going on, sis? It might be a little delay on my end too, so bear with me, y'all. But yeah, you know, again, when it's all said and done, if you locked in with your partner, there should be no doubts, shouldn't be no second guessing. Your communication should be clear as water. And if at any time either one of y'all feeling the type of way, y'all should sit down and have a talk. But see, this is the thing. If you have a talk, you have to also be able to listen. See, and this is the problem with some men and women. They don't listen to each other. They hear what's being said, but they don't listen. Like again, if there's something wrong with you, I would rather you tell me than me have to go on a guessing game just to find out what's going on. That's just me personally. You know, like I said, it's just, you know, it's tricky out here nowadays because the one thing that always seems to damage everything is not just the lack of communication, but it's also the lack of respect. Like again, you want somebody, but how are you going to want somebody when you're not willing to compromise? Prime example, if before y'all do go further, if you both sat down and basically placed boundaries and order and everything else, right? Things that you don't want or things that might be a deal breaker for you. If either one violates, then that's when you're gonna have to have a sit down. But if y'all already agreed upon everything, like I said, then shouldn't be nothing to deal with. Like prime example, don't wait until you get with somebody and then now all of a sudden you want to change because that's not a good look overall. The same way that person met you is the same way they're gonna always want to remember you. So just remember that. My day was good, sis. Plantation work as always right now, but you know I had to come bring something. And apologies for yesterday. I was trying to do the live, but got caught up. The bad kids then came up out here. Yeah, they ran down on me, y'all. They ran down on me, but but it was good to see them in the also. But yeah, all in all, we just got to remember that strong communication, effective listening, key components to keeping everything strong. But again, I would tell those that need to hear it, if you don't plan on settling down or being with anybody, then stay in that position until you are ready to be with somebody. Like I said, y'all have to have realistic standards. And see, this is one thing I'm gonna say. Some of y'all will sit here and get mad or try to say things about us men when we either place boundaries or we specifically state what we like and what we don't like. The thing that gets me a little upset is y'all gotta stop trying to come at people. Like, stop trying to come at people's manhood. Stop trying to disrespect. Because again, respect to get you further places in life. Having respect for somebody will possibly keep your relationship and your marriage strong. If you gonna call me everything outside of the child of God because I sat here and told you what my expectations are, or I just gave you basically my boundaries to what could possibly end this little union we trying to do, then you gotta respect it. Same way I have to respect yours. Healing prayers, and well, you already know. I already know how you feel. I know how early y'all feeling right now. Like I said, losing somebody close to you, it hit different. But yeah, the most important thing is, again, if you're not ready for any form of settling down or trying to build with somebody, then stay single. Keep playing on the playing field until you feel like you don't want to play no more. But it's sad because some people just can't bear the fact of being alone. In some cases, there's nothing wrong with being alone because if you, prime example, already got out of a bad situation, you don't want to possibly go into another bad situation just because you rushed something. You want to make sure that you did all around the board before you step into anything. So I would say for some of y'all who probably have just probably gotten out of something, before you jump out the window and do anything, be sure that that's what you're ready to do. Make sure that you healed all the way through because you don't want to bring any excess baggage or anything that's counterproductive to what you're trying to build now. And I think that's where some people get it messed up again. when you are trying to lock in with somebody, everything has to be aligned. And again, y'all both got to be in the same mind space because once y'all do come together, it's no longer two people; it's one entity. Some of you ladies out there, and for some of you fellas as well, if you are in a situation or having still some form of situations with the baby mother or the baby father, your best bet, if y'all breakup wasn't that deep, if it wasn't that serious, try to work things out for the betterment, especially if y'all got a family together. Because again, y'all gonna be locked in for life because you have a child together. For some of y'all ladies, you can't expect somebody again to can't expect them to come play Captain Saver when you're not in the best of position to do anything. You can't expect somebody to take on all of your baggage and everything else included. But again, you're not willing to let that man lead or do anything that's supposed to be done. But again, I would tell y'all if y'all relationship and y'all union got broken up for petty reasons, try to rework on those things. But again, y'all got to be able to communicate. Can't communicate when you screaming and yelling at each other. That's another thing. Some of y'all ladies, you love to yell and scream. Some of y'all need to chill out because again, that's what causes the tension. That's what causes the unnecessary fights and stress. Again, you got to be willing to communicate and communicate effectively and listen effectively. Those things are going to be the reason that everything that you are striving for will continue to keep building solidly. But all in all, though, like I said, I think I'm going to delve deep or even deeper tomorrow. I think it's only because, again, we need to keep asking these type of questions. Because for some of y'all, you say that love is more important. But in some cases, it seems like your love of money is more important. And that right there will be a bad combination. Because if that's all you really are there for is for the money, you will never have anything long standing and fulfilling. Because at some point, your luck will run out. You might not find somebody who got the big money no more. So what you gonna do then? See, like I said, money is the root of evil, but that's only my bad. Yeah. So we over here doing that now. You know, my bad, yeah. So we out here taking microwaves and shit, man. My bad, my bad, yeah. Yeah, you know, plantation flow, but no, I'm saying like after a while, your luck is gonna run out. You're not gonna find somebody who is gonna fit your qualifications, especially if you still have the same type of qualifications for somebody. That chance of you is gonna be slim, you know. And what you gonna do then? Not gonna be able to do much. Hold on one second. Nate, you hit the hammer on the nail. Some people need to hear this. They take these talks for granted. Yeah, you know, serious, baby. I take love over money any day. Yeah, because come on, man. Like I said, your chances of finding somebody that's going to complete you, sometimes you'll be slim to none. Depending on how many interactions you done had, it can be bad. But I would say again, if you just got out of a serious situation, there's no kids involved, no none of that. Heal yourself first before you delve into another situation. Fellas, find that lady that's gonna complete you and give you peace, but also give you balance. Because in the long run, we supposed to balance each other out. But for some of y'all, if y'all don't get out of that mindset of I want to be in control of everything and nobody can tell me nothing and you gonna do what I say, a lot of y'all gonna lose out on the best things that you got coming to you. And some of you will definitely lose out on the blessings that are about to be bestowed on you. The most I can say is, again, we have positions in life. We have our soul roles. And see, y'all trying to eliminate some of these roles, but these roles are what keep everything in balance, whether it's a relationship or a marriage. Keith, what's going on, my guy? Y'all already know if y'all just tuned in, hit the like button. And if y'all new to the channel, like, share, comment, and subscribe. But, this is all I'm saying. At what point, and I mean that, at what point, are you going to say, you know what, I need to change my mindset? For some of y'all got this mindset like, second, I'm still, I'm still, right. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Yeah, I was about to sit my ass down. They can't even get that shit. It's Jan Jan? Wow. Fucked up. Well, give me a second. I need the phone too. Shit. Give me a one if y'all can hear me. My bad. My bad, y'all. But yeah, this is all I'm saying. It's time for some of y'all to get it together. Because you don't know again how long your days are gonna be on this earth. And you definitely want to make sure you sharing those golden days with somebody who's worth it. We need to get back to that old way of doing things. So for some of y'all out there that need to hear this, it is time for y'all to Start broadening the horizon. And again, you know, choose carefully. Choose carefully. Be with somebody who wants to be with you just as much. Choose somebody who's going to love you as much as you love them. Choose somebody who's going to prioritize you like you prioritize them. Everything else will follow in order. But if some of y'all continue to also keep listening to nonsense or listening to the haters or listening to people who are single and don't have a clue on anything or can't keep nothing long again, you're going to find yourself in a very compromising position. Just keeping it real. So, oh, shoot. You know what it is, though? Again, you got to be able to communicate. Effective communication and effective listening. They're tools to any type of success. But again, also remember, respect is also going to be a key thing. Because if you don't respect your partner, you're not respecting yourself as well. Again, you got to remember, it's a tag team effort, not a one man show. And some of y'all think it's a one man show. But then when you find out after you done lost something good, that you should have just did the right thing. And again, the right thing for anybody, man or woman, is respect your partner. Have respect for them. But again, also remember your partner has to be loyal and trustworthy. And the minute that you feel like there's some sort of trust being broken, you better sit down with your partner and talk. Or if you just need some reassurance, again, talk to your partner. But also remember this, if you got a good one that's solid all around the board and has been solid to you overall, you shouldn't have nothing to worry about. But again, even when you do feel something, sit down and talk with your partner, and figure out things from there, you know. No doubt, appreciate you as well, baby. But yeah, it's just time. Like I said, we always hit negative points, but we do have positives as well. Again, there are some relationships and some marriages that are still going strong. And that's because they kept the communication lines open and kept it strong. And again, they've been through damn near everything. Exactly, serious. But that's the problem. Sad to say, there are some men and women out there who are doing just that. They have too high of expectations and unrealistic expectations that is not going to ever be met. So it is sad. And this is why, in some cases, some people will remain single because, again, the realistic expectation is just make sure that that person fits the specific criteria that you need. You want somebody that's loving. You want somebody that's gonna protect you. You want somebody who's gonna be honest with you. You want somebody who, again, is gonna love you the way you should be loved, and that's gonna keep everything in order. And if you know you got it, don't do anything to mess it up or lose it, because you definitely will cry later. Your expectations should be reasonable. You want somebody who's respectful, loyal, and honest. That's what everybody should want, right? And the reason why I say that is because, again, look how many stories we done got of people who was doing right on their side, meanwhile they partner was doing them wrong. The thing that drives me crazy is when some people say, "Oh, I only did this because I got bored. I only did this because I wasn't getting enough time. I only did this because of this." It's not an excuse. Shouldn't have did it in the first place. If you felt the type of way, you should have sat down with that partner and talked to him. And that is the problem right there. Like I said, I don't condone cheating at all. I feel if you're not having the expectations met the way you think it should be, then talk to that person, have an in-depth conversation, and then you figure out whatever from there. Golden rule in relationship: treat others as you would want them to treat you. Exactly. And hence why I said earlier, it's about respect. If you don't have respect for your partner, then expect things to take a turn for the worse. That's all I'm going to say. Because, prime example, if you don't want your partner disrespecting you or screaming and yelling at you, you shouldn't be doing that either. Again, should be able to have a grown folk conversation without it going left. But see, the problem, like I said, is, again, some people really lack respect. And that's because they wasn't taught how to respect others. Like I said, there are different scenarios for why some of these situations go left. But again, you are supposed to have respect for your partner and respect for what you're building. And if there's lack of respect there, then you're basically building nothing. Exactly, serious. And that's my thing. Again, have realistic expectations. Like, see, for some of y'all, oh, I want a tall, strong, this, that, and y'all keep saying y'all want the same things. But a lot of y'all not gonna, sad to say, a lot of y'all not gonna always get what you want. But you might get a person that's gonna give you everything that you need. And that should be more important. You might not get the 6 foot whatever guy. You might not get the 7 footer. You might not get the strong guy. You might not get the most handsome. But if that person check off everything else that's important, what's stopping that person from qualifying for something good? Like some of y'all have the same expectations on what kind of man you want. But not everybody's gonna get that. So again, you have to be realistic. And again, not saying that you shouldn't have a preference, but when all of y'all got the same preference, then you basically are disqualifying and then everybody else who could be a match for you just because of these specific things alone. So again, you basically disqualifying yourself from finding something good, and it's sad. Some of y'all need to, like again, start having different expectations, have different preferences, because again, all of y'all not going to get the same type of guy that y'all all searching for. But remember, blessings come in all shapes and sizes. And when you got somebody that definitely wants to build with you, should be thankful for that. And once you see that it's real, you do what's necessary to maintain and sustain that great build that you have together. Just keep it real. Some of y'all cry about, oh, well, the real men that, well, the good men that y'all want this and want that. But when that man was around you, you didn't want it. You gotta remember this one thing. And again, if it don't apply, let it fly. Beggars can't be choosers. You out here begging and crying and wishing and hoping for something. When it comes your way, do the right thing. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. But yeah, my bad, y'all, my bad. But yeah, it's pretty simple. If you want to cry and plead and beg for something, cherish it when it comes. Don't cry about it when it do come your way. and don't complain about it. You said this is what you wanted, so now that you're getting what you want, what's the problem? I mean, it's just real situations, man. Like, got to be willing to take the good with the bad, the sweet with the sour. But you also got to remember, again, blessings come in many different forms, different shapes and sizes. A lot of y'all are not going to get your quote unquote ideal person. You might get certain things that you're looking for in that person. But if those are the main things that you know for a fact that they checked off and everything is copacetic, then you focus on that. Don't add nothing that don't need to be added. And again, don't try to fix something that's not broken. Let things flow naturally. And I think that's the problem in some situations. Is people don't allow things to flow naturally. Don't allow somebody else who probably might be jealous of what you have to mess you up out of a good situation. And some people have lost people because of that. Listening to the friends, especially the jealous ones who don't have nobody. I've had several talks with couples about creating a routine and true rules about going on date nights. Nah, that's the whole fact. Listen, serious. You just said everything in a nutshell. You're supposed to still be able to keep things fresh like you just met each other again, or like you just first started dating. That's the thrill of having that type of bond and that type of, you know, it's good. It's good on all cylinders because, again, you know, you're keeping everything fresh. You know, when you have the ample time to do things, do it. For some people, I know it's going to be different once kids get involved, but you still got to remember to maintain everything and still take the time out for yourselves when you're supposed to. You know, I know sometimes it's hard, but if you both are working together, then that balance can be achieved, and keeping everything in order can still be achieved. You know, whatever weak areas you think you might have, work on it. If y'all communication isn't that strong, work on it because that's going to be the main thing again. Do regular maintenance, take the pulse of the relationship to examine what's working, what isn't. Exactly. It's just about building better structure and connection with your partner. The best way to do so is again keep that communication line open. When you feel a type of way about something, speak to them. It's all about reassurance at the end of the day. And fellas, y'all do the same thing as well. But ladies, when the fellas do tell you what's going on, please pay attention and listen because it can definitely save y'all a lot of stress and headache. Have to be able to listen to each other and understand what's going on and then work from there. Yeah. In some cases, again, just do some routine maintenance. Best way to keep everything tight and in order. But yeah, I think I'm gonna delve deeper into the conversation tomorrow. I mostly just wanted to come on because I felt like that was something that needed to be asked. And I'm gonna ask that same question again tomorrow. Because at some point we have to get to some form of conclusion. And what's more important to y'all ladies? I'm specifically speaking to the ladies now. I'm gonna definitely get to the fellas, but I'm speaking to the ladies right now. What is more important? Because if money is more important, again, you'll never have full happiness. And you won't get but so far just worrying about money and looks. But if it's about love, when the person is definitely giving you their all and truly cherish you and values you, yeah, my bad, y'all. Had to double check something. Get in the habit of looking for your partner, positive traits, and show appreciation. Serious, you just said everything in a nutshell. You basically just said everything in a nutshell. And I think that's the truth, though. When you have something good, mic check, mic check. Hold on. My bad. I think it's a delay on my end. But yeah, let me say this real quick. Um, before I get up out of here, is truth to that comment right there. Show your partner some real love and appreciation, especially when that partner is doing everything possible for you. Again, some of y'all don't know how lucky you got it. And if you know you got something good, then don't mess it up. Show love and appreciation when it's supposed to be showed. This way, y'all can keep everything in order. But all in all, though, just wanted to have this talk tonight, y'all. Um, like I said, I'll definitely bring the topic in the conversation tomorrow. Um, I feel like it's going to be a busy night on my end right now, so we'll definitely continue this conversation because I think that's the most important thing is to find out what's more important for some of y'all. Because for some, you say it's love, for some, you say it's money, and for whatever other reasons you think you're getting the game messed up. Your love of money or your love of wanting to live that lifestyle is going to lead you in a loveless situation. So some of y'all need to really sit back and again just think about what's being said. Money comes and goes, but love and companionship, that's a lifetime, especially if it's done right. So, but yeah, I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight. I wasn't going to hold y'all too crazy. And tomorrow I will be dropping the link in case anybody want to chime in on the conversation. Um, but I feel like these talks are necessary. I personally don't really like doing these talks to a degree, but I think it's time only because from what I've seen and from what I've almost experienced, it ain't looking good. BDBGP, going on, my guy? Oh, you already know, James. You already know. I always stay with my head on the swivel, stay keeping my eyes open. And the weather about to start getting nice, so yeah, I already know. They about to start acting the food. Yeah, but see, that's the thing though, serious. What you just said is true too. But see, the sad part again, if you only chasing somebody for one specific thing, you're gonna miss out on an entirety of a whole list of things that could be beneficial to your growth and your future. You can't just focus and lock in on one situation. Make sure that person is mentally capable and stable to be in any form of relationship. Instead of checking certain red flags, you look out for all red flags. And if all red flags are already being presented to you, it's not an option you should take. Some people will still take those options even when it's plain as day that you shouldn't. But, you know, just got to keep having these talks because, again, it's about trying to leave a blueprint and continuously leave that blueprint. James number 8. Nobody take your damn cheesecake. Serious Rocky girl. James can't leave up out of here until I get my crown royale. Yeah, it's on. I'm petty tonight. I'm petty. I'm petty tonight. Petty Richardson. God damn it. But yeah, this is just a light convo. And like I said, we're gonna definitely break it down again tomorrow. And the link will be dropped just in case anybody wanna chime in. Appreciate everybody that's been a part of the build, still becoming a part of the build, and yes, we still gonna have these great talks and conversations. For those celebrating birthdays, especially into this upcoming weekend, we will not forget about you. We will not forget about you, baby. Mic check, mic check. I got logged out, my bad. But I appreciate y'all for rocking out. And again, we gonna definitely have this conversation tomorrow. But appreciate y'all, and we gonna still keep having these conversations regardless. Mic check, mic check. Ah, all right, we good, we good. But yeah, I definitely appreciate y'all for rocking out. And yeah, we definitely gonna continue this conversation tomorrow. Hopefully y'all enjoy the rest of y'all evenings. I see some of y'all running around these streets. Let me get my ass on up out of here. I'll definitely see y'all tomorrow. You know what? We might actually have